It's Friday, July 10th. Let's talk PlayStation. Alright, we got a lot of great stuff to talk about this week, like Journey coming to PlayStation 4, and now we have a release date for that. It's July 21st, so you'll finally be able to play that game on PlayStation 4 July 21st. So if you have not played Journey, what's the matter with you, you will not be able to very, very soon on your PS4. Moving on, we love talking about special edition PlayStation 4s, and this one's no exception. Boom, Destiny PlayStation 4. I mean, I know a lot of us are like, oh, Destiny, who gives a shit, or blah, 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 blah. A lot of people like to hate on Destiny or what have you. I'm not a big fan of the game either, but I do think this console looks actually really, really cool. You can pre-order it right now in the UK. It comes with 500 gigs. It's celebrating the new DLC for the game, The Taken King, which is coming out September 15th, and this is when the system, I believe, is going to be coming out. I don't, no word on other territories, but in the UK, you can pre-order this thing right now. It does look pretty cool. I do like seeing actual entire special edition consoles, not when they just give us like a special faceplate on the PS4 or something. The actual entire box being dressed up in something completely different is what I like to see. Moving on, Horizon Zero Dawn, Guerrilla Games' new robot RPG with that female protagonist that looks really, really cool. We got some small details on that, which is that it's going to be mainly a single-player experience. No multiplayer component, but it will have social features, which is what Guerrilla Games is saying right now. Completely like a single-player experience, but it will have social integration. I don't know if that means like they'll post something to your Facebook like, hey, I just killed a robot dinosaur, or if it's something like maybe Bloodborne and the Demon Souls games, or the Dark Souls games, where there's like little notes left somewhere from other players or what have you. Maybe you can trade items with people over your friends list or what have you. I don't exactly know, but I do like to hear that, hey, this is a single player game. This is what we're going for right now, because that's what I want to do, is I want to just play alone and hunt dinosaurs by my gosh darn self. Moving on to some Project Morpheus details. One criticism I often give Sony is that they're not showing enough of Morpheus for us to really be super into it just yet, but Shuhei Yoshida has something to say about that in regards to Project Morpheus' price, which is that they can't announce it right now because it just seems too damn early. Basically what he's saying, that in reference to when they announced the PlayStation 4's actual price point, they did that in the same year that the console actually launched, which was about 5 months prior. Actually, Shuhei said, we are talking about launching next year, so typically we don't talk about pricing 1 year ahead of time. I think we announced the price of PS4 at E3 the year of the launch, so that's 5 months before the launch. So it's too early. It's not like we are waiting for Oculus to announce their price. We still have work to do to know exactly the cost of goods and so on. Which, okay, fair enough, Shuhei. I think they also want to be, they don't want to talk about price right off the bat, because certainly that is the case. Technology moves so fast and everything. Components can change in price in who knows how long, whether it's 2 months, 3 months, a very short amount of time, so that they can definitely keep adjusting where they're going to be and everything. I just hope by early 2016 we really do get the price, we really do get more confirmed titles from Sony's developers and stuff in regards to Project Morpheus. I really do hope we see a final consumer version of it soon, and just all around everything about it, right? I want to see them really support this thing, and they are really supporting it. It's just that it's Sony, and I have concerns with them. They've done this in the past, and I just want to see them move in the right direction this time. So this next one's a really interesting news story. If you didn't know about this already, a lot of people this past week got a big history lesson when they saw this little guy leak on the internet. And this is allegedly the Nintendo, Sony, PlayStation, CD little hybrid machine that was supposed to be released a very long time ago, before Sony even made their own PlayStation. To recap, the little history event there is that back in 1991, Sony and Nintendo were going to partner up to release a CD add-on for the SNES that would play basically SNES, CD cartridge, CD discs and everything. Sony apparently had some pretty aggressive terms with that deal. They wanted too much of a revenue cut, certain copyright deals and things like that, too many royalties and whatnot. Nintendo decided to actually go with Philips in this partnership. But what's interesting is that back in 1991 at CES, Sony announced that they were going to be having this partnership with Nintendo, and Nintendo, without even telling Sony, announced that they were going to be going with Philips. So back then, a lot of the Sony executives and everything were not happy about this. They went back to the Sony CEO, who I believe was Noriega at the time, and told them about what Nintendo did, and essentially this is when Noriega said, let's do this, let's make our own console, and that's essentially what birthed the PlayStation. And fast forward 20 years, this is where we're at now with PlayStation as an actual division, more or less. So the guy who allegedly has this thing says that his dad had it. His dad had worked with somebody who worked at Sony or Nintendo or something, and that His dad was supposed to throw out all this junk at his work or what have you, and this machine was inside of it. Now, the guy actually even posted a video of this thing showing you a little bit more detail about it, which I can link you to in the description below if you want to see this thing. But he said that he has no power cord to turn it on or anything. It came with some software that he hasn't been able to test or anything like that. A lot of people are saying this is maybe it's fake or what have you. Now, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at this thing. I'm thinking, it definitely looks pretty legit. But who knows? The internet is filled with a lot of fake bullshit nowadays. But either way, it's nice that this little situation happened, because even if it isn't real, it's one of those things where a lot of people learned the history there of Sony and Nintendo and how the actual PlayStation became to be what it is today, which is more or less Sony saying, "Hey, screw you, Nintendo, we're going to do our own thing," and then Sony released the PlayStation and like killed fucking Sega Genesis and went on to create the PlayStation 2, which is the highest sold system ever. And then now they're moving on with PS4, which is very successful. Really awesome stuff. Really interesting, and it does look real to me. I would love to see it in person, but I think clearly that's not going to happen at all. And the reason why there's only like one of these things and it took so long for it to actually come out is because apparently, quote unquote, that there were only like 100 of these prototypes actually made, and most of them were ordered to be destroyed because it wasn't actually going to be seen in a consumer version. So it all adds up. Who knows if it's real or not? I don't know. But very, very cool nonetheless. So just recently, this website popped up and this whole big Twitter campaign started, basically called #BetterPSN. And it's kind of like a little movement of people that are, heavily involved in PlayStation, saying, telling Sony we want a better PlayStation network. We're paying for PlayStation Plus now to play online, even if we don't want PlayStation Plus as a reward service. We have to pay for it, and we want better features. We want more stability for the network and things like that. And people are kind of having a big uproar about this, which I think is actually a really good idea. It's a really good movement. I've always said for the longest time Sony needs to start investing more in PSN, because they are making you pay for PlayStation Network. If you look on this website, it says, some of the most requested features is that they want online and offline and visibility and status change, enhanced user profile showing favorite games, screenshots, recording, games wish list, deeper activities sections, continuous trophy syncing. I have no clue why we don't have that yet. Better friends list functionality with nicknames, grouping by category and everything. I mean, yeah, there's tons of things that could make PlayStation Network better. I would love to see it not have so much maintenance and downtime and crap like that. I think it's somewhat borderline ridiculous that we still deal with it at this point, but it's cool that people are making this big movement and shouting and telling Sony, this is what we want. And the thing is, Sony definitely always listens to that stuff. I mean, you can look at the company's history for years. They've always listened to this stuff. The problem with Sony is that they take a very, very long time to actually give you these things. They definitely always listen, but my God, they are so slow at finally delivering a feature to you that you've requested. So, with all these things that they're requesting, I think it's definitely like Sony's definitely seeing these things. You got to figure how many people work there, how many people are on Twitter, how many of these Sony employees are actively gamers and visit YouTube and N4G and IGN and all this stuff. It's not like they're oblivious to these things. They know you want them. It's just that I don't know. They just take forever to actually get the ball rolling. Clearly, these things aren't as easy as they seem. I can totally understand that. But on the same front, you got to look at companies like Microsoft that are consistently pumping out updates monthly on Xbox One. That's not to start any sort of petty console war thing, but it's just like, you do have a competitor that's rolling out features at a much faster pace. Why aren't you doing it? So for our last news story, I found this one really interesting. It involves Ubisoft. So recently they released their fiscal quarter earnings, detailing a little breakdown of where most of their money's coming from. And unsurprisingly, the PlayStation 4 is making the most money for Ubisoft. So they showed their little breakdown. PS4 is earning 27% for Ubisoft, followed by PC, followed by other, which is mostly mobile. Xbox One at 11%, tying with 360 and PlayStation 3, and then at the very bottom, Wii and Wii U. And that's where most of Ubisoft's money is coming from, which completely makes sense because PlayStation 4, of course, is the leading console right now in this generation. Not only in North America, but completely worldwide. Sony's upwards of 20 million systems, whereas Microsoft's sitting at around 11 to 12 million systems. And of course, as people are using PS3 and 360 a lot less, their numbers are still pretty strong since they have you know, such a large install base combined of 160 million units, but people are moving forward, so that's why that's kind of, their numbers are kind of stagnant there. Wii and Wii U, kind of understandable. Mobile has definitely picked up some traction, but yeah, Sony's doing well. I mean, that's what they love to see. That's why Sony wants to be, that's why when you're a hardware manufacturer, you want to be the number one, not just because you're number one in terms of hardware sales, but because third-party sales are going to be doing so well for you. It pleases the publishers. That gives you more third-party deals. That gives you more software sales. Software sales translates to money. It's just, that's how the whole sort of pyramid scheme works there. Anyway, those are some of the news stories I want to talk about with you guys this week. So, check out this week's episode of Ryan Gaming. The topic was, why are gamers so obsessed with graphics? We love graphics. We go crazy when we see a super pretty game, but why? Why? That is the question I'm posing to you. Well, really, somebody asked me this, and then I answered. So watch that. But that's a really good topic, actually. I really enjoyed filming that one. Watch that one. Also, a new episode of Video Game Teacher is up. We play Katamari Forever. I show my friend Brandon how to play a Katamari game, and it's really funny because Katamari is such an incredibly odd game if you've never seen Katamari, which is basically you rolling a giant ball that, and everything the ball touches, it sticks to it and whatnot. I mean, if you have not played a Katamari game, something's absolutely wrong with you. But watch that video. It was pretty funny. This Monday will be a special surprise video that I won't tell you about just now, but check out Monday for a cool surprise video. And then the Monday after will be part 1 of Jak 2. I finally recorded some parts of Jak 2, so we'll finally start our Jak 2 Let's Play. What would be the dates? I'm too stupid to do math right now. So this Monday would be the 13th, so the 20th. On the 20th, Jak 2, the first part of the Jak 2 Let's Play will go up. I know you're all super pumped about that, but calm down, guys. Keep your pants on. It's still going to be a little bit. Anyway, that concludes this week's episode of Let's Talk PlayStation. I'm Ryan, but I can thank you all so much for talking with me, and I'll see you guys next Friday.